Hi 6-shooter, hi guys, this is my Hpi Savage FLUX GTXL. This is the latest version from the Savage XL. We already unboxed it together. We see that this truck has, since 15 years, the same issue. They have done something for the main gearbox. They have upgraded the differentials, the output drive shafts, the drive shafts. This is all right. What we still have an issue is because we have no center differential, big stress on the rear differential. If you drive in sand, on sleepy surface with the stock tires, it's not an issue. It will be an issue if you begin to make stunts in jumps and land falls. We also have still a weak steering here. Car not turn really good, especially on grass and hard surfaces, or if you have big tires with really nice grips, like some prime blockades or some other Louis RC tires with really fat grip. So like on the Obao Hyper MT1 and MT2, and have we another truck this way? No, it's the only one who has the same issue. The best way is to go to harder rear differential oil, but not if you drive in sand. How I say, if you drive in sand, it's not a problem. It comes with grease front and rear. The differential I put in the front for the moment, 150 CST. For many people it sounds crazy, it's heavy, but in a big monster truck with big tools in the differential, it's not a problem. In the rear I have 50,000 CST. I for the moment not go on more thick oil on the rear. I wanna first try it to find again my sensation, because it's a long time I don't drive a Savage XL. It's maybe 5 or 6 years ago, or 10 years I drive the last Savage XL. In between I get again a short HP FLUX, but with the center diff. And this one get the center diff too, but this time I don't go to the Elsa Racing center diff conversion. You know, HPI does the 5SC FLUX with center differential, but with a big main gear, because it's a heavy truck, so they overgeared, they geared down differently. So I take, also for see what's same or different, the Rofun center gearbox complete, because they do the two different type of gearbox from HPI. The old one with the gear in the center and the motor on the right side, and the new one which we have here on the GTXL. I really like that. The motor is in the center and the gear is on the right side, so we are no more so high, and we have more room to change the gear mesh, and also more room for the motor. They do this because they also put the ESC in the front. That's a bad idea, because even with this little cage on it, yeah, I put the Traxxas ESC in my HPI, also a Traxxas radio system. I love every brand. So you have more room for big motor, for ESC what you want, and we have here an ADAS system, 1600 kV, 82mm motor, so we don't have more end speed than 2200 kV with 6s. A little bit more, but what we have more is more punch and also more drive time. But regarding the fact that you can have 11,000 3S battery, and this big battery tray can take it, it's the same thing. It's a new to decide what you want. I prefer to drive it ADAS. I have two gens A Spashing 50C 5000 mAh battery. This battery are light, 400 gram each. It's less weight than if you take a 6 or 7 or 9 or 11,000 3S battery. Yes, it's a little bit heavier. Motor is a little bit heavier, but if you take a 6S motor 2000 kV for more torque because of the more weight, it's something I always do. When I exceed 6 kilograms, I go for longer motor, because I prefer. Then I go down with the RPM if I go to more S, which I do also here. So the Rowan King motor, what you want, gearbox is not the same. Looks like the same, but it's make difference from the conception, not from the conception, for the, how to say, the plastic's a little bit different, and you see different traces on the gearbox. Here, this is the HPI stock, and this is the gear you get with the HPI stock. Look at this, it's really thin and it's crazy, but it works. So because I want to put the center diff in, I have one more here. Here we have the main gear from the center differential. This goes underneath in place of the spool, which is stock in the HPI, this one. So you have to change the gear down, and you cannot switch the gears from the HPI gearbox in the Rowan, and you cannot put the center diff in the HPI gearbox for two reasons. One, you have here a hole for the rears on the nitro version. This is not an issue, you can cut it out. And then you have another issue. The main gear is too big and you are stuck in the box. You can drill it out with the Dremel, it's not a problem. But then comes the next step, the issue with that one. The sleeper axle from HPI and from Rowan are not the same. This hole is about 3 or 4 millimeter more there. By HPI the gears come this way, by Rowan the gears come from there. So you are not in the same place with the second gear, and the second gear is that you need absolutely the second gear to go down to the differential, and you cannot use any part from the HPI stuff. So I try to put this shaft in the Rowan gearbox, don't fit, because also this hole is not in the same place for 0.2 millimeters. It don't fit. So I put the whole stuff from the other brand, and what's pretty strange is this is the HPI gearbox. If you put it together, fits fine, but you have no, you see, it not locks together until you have here a little board. The King motor gearbox perfectly clicks together and it's better closed. Then on both, what's bad, these holes are open, so don't forget to do something on the holes, to not have some little sand, or if you drive in water, to have some water in there. I never had issue with my, since they make an upgrade, not this one, but the gearbox before that, it's the HPI gearbox, I never had an issue, I never had to open it. So I'm confident that this new gearbox will have also no issue. To avoid losing the upper axles here, easy way to do, but take care. If you want to put the sway bars in there, don't do that. If you want to get the sway bar, get it, because with the sway bar you have here a little cap who stops here the X to go out, because in any time you hit the bumper, these two parts goes open and the X can flies out. On the rear it's not enough problem, but in the front it happened many times. So we still at the 21st century, after 15 years, have to do a tie wrap on the front bumper mount from the HPI Savage FLUX, and I ask myself a question. This is a joke, don't take it seriously. I don't know anything about plumbing, but I guess that by HPI, I ask myself, who is in charge from development team by HPI? A plumber, because a plumber is good at plumbing, but not at mechanic. I am okay at mechanic, but I know nothing about plumbing. Just the basis, but I'm not gonna install myself in my own house the whole plumbing system. I wanna take a plumber for do it, a professional, and I don't understand why they don't do something for that issue. We have this so long time ago and they still do anything. We also know shock shaft can be bent easy because we have no bump stop here. If we overhaul, you can pop off the shocks. Regarding the concurrents from this car, low Z3XL, Hobart Hyper MT, Serpent MT, Traxxas E-Revo and Max with the new suspension systems are so good. I don't understand why they do not put out from the box the big bores on the truck. I really like the big bores. I really think that restock should have the big bore shocks, these Teflon shocks, optional shocks. Then we should have the caps here to hold these little pins from the front arm in place, and even the underarms. You have so many room here that this axle can go 5mm forward, and if you do that, he's even no more in the alloy plate in the rear. He has so many play, he can go so much forward, so an easy stuff to do. Drill 2 holes, 2mm holes, put 3mm counter strunket screws in there, so the X cannot move forward. You can get from Elsa Racing a kit which is way tougher than this stock one. You can have from many brands, from FLM, from graphite, from carbon made chassis plates, chassis braces and all the stuff. If you want to jump this car, you have to put another chassis on it. You know it. This chassis will end like an accordion if you hit hard the front doing hard stunts. So I'm not gonna do some jumps, some hard jumps with it, some smooth jumps, or just cross-tie the car because I have the Max. I know many people don't like Traxxas. How I say, I like every brand, and the Traxxas Max is a real squash ball. You can really abuse this car. I do out from the box so many stuff with that car I never have done with my Savage Flux HPI, even after put another chassis, RPM all around, Elsa Racing stuff on the truck. And regarding that, the price difference is heavy, because at that time my best Savage I spent €1,200 until it was really hard abuse. Okay, for €650 you have the Max, do nothing, just bash it. Maybe you're gonna lose a CVD or something, or break something like a CVD, but upgrade €100, you are still not at the price from the Savage Flux. You do not have the power from the 6S Savage Flux, but I have here a 6S system in there, and I'm still not at that heavy price. So this baby, because it's maybe my 10th or 15th Savage I have here, will be drive smooth in the beginning. Then I go a little bit harder, but I don't want to bash it hard. I just buy it because I love the Hpi Savage Flux. I really like this truck. The other thing what happens to you, stock you have 3mm screws here, they bend really fast, so I put 4mm in. You only can do that with the stock shocks, because here you have the plastic ball end. If you take the big bores, you have a steel ball there. You cannot anymore put 4mm screws in there. Back in the time I broke anything at this truck. I broke the shock tower, we all broke upper arms, underarms, C-hubs. Here I put the alloy ones to also put away this little bar here, because this is also something we ripped off the chassis. What I not break was bulkheads, maybe one time. With all the shit I done with the truck, I can tell anything else. This is the word I do with the truck. We bend chassis, but we still like it. And this is the way heavy bashing cars end broken. I see today many people complain about breakdown this, breakdown that, not happy with that, not happy with that. But back in the time, for 10 or 15 years, and no one from us asked we never ask us this question. When we break something, we replace it. We never go to the brand and tell, oh, I break this doing a 10-meter jumps. It's absolutely normal if you jump or if you do crazy speed in off-road, that if you break something, it happens. We complain at the beginning with Hpi, with this FLUX, we break the main gearbox because it was made for the nitro version and was really not tough enough for GT6S LiPo. So we break main gears and main transmission one after another. So Hpi does guarantee and give us new gearboxes with new gears in there, was way better. Then we break CVDs, output drive shaft, they do beefier output drive shaft, beefier CVD, and then we break rear differential 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in 43, 13. Then they do 29.9 in cold pressed and in machines. The optional was machined, was really high in price, but was the really one who can abuse the power. You have also from Hot Racing the 28.8 spiral cutted. These are, I try one time that babies and I was really happy with. If I find it again, I will buy it again if I destroy something here. But regarding that, I have a center differential in there. I have all the weight in the front, and I do just only 1 million tick oil in the center diff. It's not so much because I still have a little bit stock grease in all three differentials, so it's a little bit more fluid than just what I tell. But I first want to drive it this way. If you wanna jump high, jump long, make some tricks, some jump tricks, the HP was the better from the two ones for do that, but you can still do that with the long version. And for do jumps and all that crazy stuff, these tires are okay because they balloon, so you have enough power in the air with the motor. Put the motor on high RPM, balloon the tire, get the truck back on the tire. If you land, they take a lot of abuse, and if you do that, let in all three differential the grease. But I drive more off-road than jump, so that's the reason why I go with thicker oil in the differential to get more traction. And if I'm not happy with the turning from truck, I do 300,000 CST in the rear like I do in the Obao MT2. The truck who is really better from the steering is the Sen GSTE for the short version. Now we only have the Reaper long version, but this is the one from these big trucks at this point who has really the best steering. You have all weak points, but the steering is really good. Any brand has weak points, any brand have some stuff they never handle with. Sometimes we get an upgrades, but not every time we want. But that's the gameplay. So I know I'm gonna be happy with the truck because I know the truck. I have this stock steering for the moment. I also know if I'm gonna be a little bit hard with it in the wood. I maybe gonna break the steering Ackerman or some leveler here. So I have already the other one. What happens to me with bigger tires and the XL version, because you have a really wide here a part to go to the wheel, is that brake. So I have the short one to drive it with offset wheels, because I never have issue with the short one, the spindle. No, spindle is the German word. Forget the English word for that one. So I also not understand why the joint from the receiver box is 1 centimeter shorter as the gearbox, so you have such a big hole in there where water can go in. So why do a waterproof box if you put a hole in there? That's a nonsense. And I really don't like that wacky thing here. What is that? What goes up in the head from these guys. The chassis could be here. It's not have to be in one part. I understand this because of the nitro version or the two-stroke version, but here on the brushless you can easily put a part more here, bolted here and bolted here to close this, and so you can bolt your ESC tray. And what we need is a roll cage in there under the roof to not, because if you drive it with the stock body, HPI is not good at stock body like many other brands. They're greedy on Lexan, because if they made us 2mm Lexan body, we all would be so more happy. The body will be squeezed down, and on hard landing you will destroy, even with the stock cage. This will protect nothing on your ESC, it just go down and be squeezed. So that's a bad thing. The ESC has no protection. You can put, if you want to protect your ESC, you can put it here, down there in the back. Regarding all the place we have here in the front, I also like the way they put the servo now in there. It's way more down. I understand because it's nitro and two-stroke version, this box here, because you have a second servo here for the nitro, but for the brushless this place could be used for receiver box, and the ESC has enough room to get here down in the front, and it's maybe not gonna be more high than this original gearbox, and here is really protected. So I would like to see that, but this is just my opinion. It's not something they have to do. It's not a complaint, it's just an opinion. So I'm excited to test it, and I really think that this plastic is no more the same that back in the time. It feels like more flimsy, but it's not absolutely bad. If it's flex enough, it breaks not so far. But that's only something I'm gonna see when I have drive it. I surely forget many stuff here, but now I wanted to show you how it performs with an ADAS system. I would say it's not going to be faster than the 6S, but with less RPM and longer motor I have more torque, so I have more reaction in the air because I have more S on board. I like it. I really like that tires. I don't like the profile from the tires. They look not really nice and off-road. They don't like enough bad. But maybe it's exactly this here in the middle from the tire who provide this tire to explode too fast. You can do it. You can make it. But if you let the track and its stock performance 80-90 km/h, you will have no issue. This ballooning is cool in the air. Take care on the road. If you go to that speed, if you balloon, the track gonna be lighter on the road and begin to be shaggy. So, but it's an off-road. It's not a GT. So I first gonna drive again with the stock tires, find my sensation again, then I will try some different stuff. I have the Proline blockade. I really love my blockades. This is really an amazing tire for, it's not look like a big monster truck tire, but it's like the big Joes. They balloon really heavy, they can handle it. They are so flex, and because they are so soft, the truck handles great even in grass or other surfaces, and they also can even take big landing because they help you to bump out the shock. The other tire we'll try on it are this one, the Rough and Tolerant. This is basically the Louis RC rims. Take Care. I had back in the time someone of that, and I broke here the rims because we have not less material. It's really flexed wheels. Back in the time I had this one. It was more like a plastic tire. The foam was light in there, and the whole tire was really light. It was not made for drive this crazy speeds, but it was lightweight, so easy in success. This one are upgraded. They are heavier than before, way heavier. It's now 400 grams. The old version was about 300 grams. The compound feels really better, really tougher, and the foam in there feels really great. Like it's like a foam from Proline or something. But we never know before we drive it. Many times we think, oh, the tire is nice, and then we hit the throttle and pa, there goes the tire. Many times we have saw tires and we think, oh man, what is this strange tire? And after running it 10 times, 20, 50, 100 times, the tire is still alive, and that means this is a super tough guy. Like many other track, we do all possible stuff with the Savage. We stretch it until 1/5 scale. We shorten it. We lower it. We put it higher. And in the end effect, it's so that we ever come back to the stock ones. It's funny to do, but many times when you change something in a truck, it's not really handled better. The other thing I like at Savage FLUX since beginning, and this is that you understand what I mean. It needs 50 years until Traxxas pulls out the Traxxas X-Max that I find again this suspension feeling I had on this truck here in 1/8 scale. The suspension travel is awesome. Look at this, it's stock out from box. He drives 50-50. He's really a hardness underneath to not go bump out too hard, and it's really soft when you're on the throttle, and it's just the way I like. Many people do more stiffer oil in the shocks or over shock pistons to have stiffer suspension, but I like my off-road really this way, like the new Armor Vortec here. This one is also out from box, this nice suspension, and the other trucks who comes out on the market with so cool suspension is the Hobauer Hyper MT2. At the Sand Reaper we don't have this feeling. The suspension is not at a good point. We need some more travel in such a big truck, and I was expected something in this style on the Reaper. I hope they will do a Reaper 2 soon with longer arms, longer shocks, longer CVD who not pops out. And if it's something that HPI absolutely make good since beginning, they have never issued that, is even with this big suspension travel, the tires, the rims has the same angle from underneath to full down here. The tire don't move, you have no angle changes on the suspension, and in no case the dog bones comes out or are too far away from the end of the cups, or the pins comes out from the cups. And I also not remember had to change output drive shaft or dog bones because of wear. And on Traxxas we know that we destroy drive cups, but Traxxas use the drive cups as fuse when you heat too hard, when you're too hard on throttle something. It's easy to change because you have access from the outside. In many our brands you must put the whole differential out, put all the oil out, disassemble completely your differential to get at the output drive. and so I really like to have so beefy output drive shafts and have no issue with the CVDs. It happens that you lose one, but only because you maybe have already destroyed an A-arm or something by a big hit. Hope the weather will be fine soon, so I can drive this baby. How I say, I don't want to drive it until into the mud for the crazy stuff. I have a Max and an X-Max. These are really the two cars, the red one here and the black one there. These are the two cars I use in every radio conversion. Also the e-Revo. I have the e-Revo too. These three cars are my little piggies. I rumble it hard, I destroy it, rebuild it no matter what happens. But I don't want to do that with that baby. And this baby becomes also a Savage GT Gigante Alsace RC body. The difference between the stock one or the Pro body is that these guys put here all this more in high, so it lays better on the truck, because this is the shape from the original body and the Pro body. Look at this, it's I think too flat, and here you have more some beefy impression, and they also add here this one to not squeeze here in the rear from the truck, from the body. So with that body I feel secure for my ESC, because this body are really awesome, and I'm happy because this is made in France, in my country. And yeah, sometimes happens that in France we do some cool stuff. Bye guys, have a nice day, see you soon.